In a universe where life does not end at death, we explore the infinite possibilities forged by our very minds. Welcome to Arthadian Anthologies. Before we get started, I just want to inform you that this series was recorded over Discord. If the quality dips, it's due to connection issues. Greetings, fellow travelers. Welcome to a Reborn in Power series featuring the Kron chosen known as Marmaduke 9, who was captured by a mysterious pilot known as Hagar in the Pod Pit Challenge. Follow along as Marmaduke is subjected to face his past fragments in this side series to the New Age. Welcome to the finale of Fragments Reborn. Last time, Marmaduke 9, you were inside the station. You were, surrounded by many Corps Command officers and got to speak with Kyver about some situations going on in the station and where your squadron was at, along with speaking with Alvora at the same time. And then you and Kyver went to the area in which you were being held. And there you found some Corps Command officers who were looking through the systems. Kyver asked them a question, but they did not want to respond very well. And then they pulled out some guns, and Kyver was able to paralyze them. Then you returned back, met up with the commander of the main squadron, and he was trying to get you to come with them and get the Plasmatic Knight to leave. But Kyver was not willing, and then guns got brought out. Kyver began to use a rune, and that's where we left off. So, Marmaduke 9, I would like you to roll me initiative.
Okay. And before we do initiative, can I try and say something real quick?
Sure.
To these guys? Let's not be too hasty, Commander. Letting me leave is part of the plan.
You say that I like you to roll me an influence check. Wait, actually, are you being deceptive? Or are you being... I'm trying to think right now. I'd like you to roll me a deception check.
No whammies. It's not bad. It's a 19.
19. As the other squadron would say, that's a crit in their book. Wow. You say this, and Kyver is getting ready to attack, and then you see the commander is like, halt! And Kyver is like ready to attack them. It's like, Plasmatic Knight. And Kyver looks at him and is like, you're free to go. And all the officers look over towards the commander. And then you see Kyver looks over towards Alvora. And then you see him look towards you and says, what did you tell them?
I told them what I learned. We must go. I could explain the plan to you, but I'm afraid it's beyond your comprehension.
You see Kyver looks over, is like, and he looks really not happy right now.
I believe we have somewhere to go. And go swiftly. And I want to... I'm trying to convey that it's cool. That I'm cool.
Okay. Kyver looks at you up and down, and then you see the rune turn back into a regular rune, and it goes back onto his runic strap. And then you see he looks at the Core Command squadron that was literally about to attack you guys. And he says, if we are to be enemies, I'll have you know, the Empire will not yield. And you see the commander looks over towards you. And then he smiles at you and says, all part of the plan, I suppose.
Isn't it all? Thank you for your passage, Commander. And I'm sure we will meet again.
I'm sure you'll meet possibly me. Maybe. Not too sure. And he looks down. Let them go. Kyver nods to Alvora. Alvora begins to walk over towards the two of you. And she's like, where are we headed? Just come over here. And you see Kyver pulls out another rune and then opens up a portal behind you guys. And he's like, till we see each other again, Commander. And Kyver goes through the portal.
I'm going through it as well.
You go through it along with Alvora. And you guys... The portal closes. And Kyver... You guys are now inside what looks like a pod. And Kyver goes over to the cockpit. And he begins to turn some things on and then begins to fly out.
Quickly now, Mr. Kyver.
And you see he spins around in his chair as he turns on autopilot. Autopilot activated. Now are you going to explain exactly what you just said to that squadron who... We probably should have not let them stay alive.
We were very outnumbered, and we now know something very, very valuable.
Outnumbered, and you see him kind of like wince a little bit in his face. He's like, I could have taken them. But what is this thing that we know that's valuable? What is this?
We know
plan?
that they're compromised. We know that they're compromised, and we know who has compromised them. Precisely. My people.
Your people.
My people. My army.
I'd like you to roll me
core command.
Perception check.
18.
You notice that Alvora looks uncomfortable. You may roll an analyze. If you don't have analyze the knowledge, then you could just roll straight intellect.
Straight intellect it will have to be. Ooh, that's 24. That's a crit.
Oh. Yeah. Alvora looks uncomfortable, as in, like, it looks like she knows something. And she's hiding something. As you're talking to Kyver. You ask her, are you alright? And she looks over.
You alright?
Yeah, I'm alright. Kyver looks over.
Are you sure?
And then looks over towards you, Marmaduke. And then he says, alright, well, listen, we have to get you back to Squad 119. But if you are... We already know that Core Command is compromised, but you're saying that they're compromised by your people.
By the army, by the organization I was a part of before the reset. Before everything went haywire.
What?
They wanted the core. They wanted to take over the core.
Who are your
free
people?
It or destroy it.
Aren't you just Kron?
I am Kron, but I was part of a military.
Do you know this military?
Do I know this military?
Roll me a lore check.
That is 16.
No, you do not. You do not.
That's intellect, isn't it, lore?
Yeah, it would be intellect, but you are unsure of the name of this military.
I was born into it, if you will. I don't know the name. It was just always my life. I didn't need a name. I just needed to fly. And fly is what I did. But they were in charge of that station. And they were playing with the void. We've had some tangles with the void. on Turthtrin Trek. In particular, they tried... Well, one of my former associates was trying to take over that place.
Alright, well... Dang it. Do you have any other information that you can relay to us?
Let's think. What information do I have? They want to free the core. That's what they kept saying. That was part of the plan I mentioned. I don't know what the plan is exactly. They weren't that forthcoming about it. But it has to do with freeing the core. And freeing people from core command, it seems.
From core?
And it has something to do with the void.
Freeing people from core command?
It was all very nebulous, all very cryptic. Intentionally so, I think. But this plan, it's almost religious. It goes beyond a plan, it's a belief. And I have no doubt in my mind they'll die for it. And my son is involved.
Your son? You
my
see
son, yes.
Alvora's eyes widen. And then she looks uncomfortable again.
That's a discussion that we need to have as well, Alvora. But...
And she looks down
he
and
was special.
She looks depressed. And then she says, yes. I think it's definitely something we need to talk about. You could tell.
I'm afraid.
You could tell there's something on her mind.
I'm afraid I was rather indisposed before I could talk to you about it. And I only learned... We can talk about it in a moment. But it's... They told me he was special. Beyond special. He was maybe an integral part of the plan. I fear if they have been indoctrinating people, as it seems they may have been on floor 62, we could be in very grave danger. Anyone could be an enemy. We must be very careful
Kyver,
who we talk about this with.
Kyver looks down and he looks very deep in thought. Damn the void. I'm not sure exactly what to do, but we need to get to Squad 119 as soon as possible. I feel like
Agreed.
Even though I was ordered not to, I need to bring you to some people. Allies. Allies that...
You trust them?
With my life. The thing is that as soon as I bring you to them, your life is going to get a lot more complicated.
My life is quite complicated at the moment.
Yeah. You think that now. You do have important
All
information,
right.
Marmaduke. But for now, I suppose just keep it to yourself. I'll take us to Thet. In the meantime, he looks over towards Alvora. I'll give you two some privacy.
Thank you.
He nods and he stands up and he walks over toward. Well, he stays inside the cockpit and then he motions for you guys to exit as you guys exit the cockpit and it closes itself.
Alvora.
She looks at you and she's like, Marmaduke,
I want to promise you, explicitly, I never kept anything from you. I never told you a lie. I never kept a secret.
you see she closes her
I
eyes and you see a tear begin to fall.
I never knew. I'll put my hand on her cheek and just wipe the tear away.
I cry because as you say this, I know this to be the truth, that you never lied, that you never knew. But I cannot say the same.
What do you mean?
Many decades ago, before we ever met, I was a part of an expedition with other Yen. We encountered a force that shot us out of space. And we most of my people died. My unit. And then I was taken. And I was... She's having a hard time trying to speak at this moment.
Take your time. It's all right. I'm not going anywhere.
She looks up at you. I'm sorry. I promised I wouldn't say anything.
I want to hold their hands.
I was injured. Not as bad as most of my allies, but I was awake during it. During my surgery. And the person who healed me, she She was very kind to me. She wanted me to find someone for her and make sure that they were all right, because she couldn't go to, and she looks up at you, him.
You're the missing out on not having a camera right now. I'm gobsmacked.
She just stares at you.
She was a Kron, wasn't she?
She nods, and then she says, she was a nightingale.
'71.
She begins to cry. I'm so sorry. I held this from you. There were so many times in which I wanted to tell you.
I'll hold her very tightly.
You hold her. She cries in your arms.
Why did she want to find me?
She said that you would be alone. She said that you would have memories of her, but you wouldn't understand them. She said that you would probably be broken if you didn't have someone to be with you. She freed me at the risk of her own life. I don't know if she's still alive, but she wanted nothing more than to give you what the two of you had.
Where was this?
It was... It was within the void.
They actually went. They actually went into the void. She did. She knew I would need somebody. And that somebody was you.
She is having trouble looking up at you.
That also means she knew I was out there. She knew where I was, maybe. Because you did find me.
It was difficult. But I knew when I met you. The way she described you. I couldn't help but be in awe of just how much she knew you.
Well, we were married. That sort of thing. This is quite a lot to take in.
She looks
Said
down.
my life was about to get a lot more complicated. He had a point.
I don't know much about your kind. All I know is that the Nightingales are they have great compassion.
They do. Oh gosh. Where do we go from here?
I'm not sure. I think that wherever we go together.
I kiss her.
She returns the kiss.
I think so.
She said
Together.
That one day you're going to have to face your son.
One day. I think that path is almost certain now. If they're coming. I never knew him. I saw him for a day.
She also said that he knows you. And that she did her best to tell him of you, of who you were.
The one thing that would have kept me away is the thing that happened. But at least I wasn't truly abandoned. And I certainly haven't been alone.
As she begins to cry in your arms, you see the cockpit door slides open, and you see Kyver look over towards you. And then he says, "You're going to want to come in here." Alvora looks over. "What happened?" As you two stand up, walk over inside. The cockpit door seals shut, and you see Kyver pull out a little slot from the actual systems, and then he presses a button that shows a holographic projection that appears. And as it appears, you see what looks like a thin frame appears. And it... "Hello, Kyver. I hope you are doing well, and that you have found your apprentice. I know we haven't spoken in some time, but I want to give you an update. Dr. Cal has passed. The mission to rescuing him was a failure."
Passed? You mean he's dead?
Kyver motions towards the holographic image. "Also, Montezelic has been exterminated." And
who's that? Do I know who that is?
Montezelic is the leader of the Zelic dynasty in the Demo Cortex with all the Nugonians that you've been hunting.
Oh, I'm alright with that one. That's fine.
Kyver looks over towards it. It's like, "We currently have a situation going on, though. Caliber, the bodyguard of Dr. Cal, has become an ally of ours, and he is on a secret mission. He has been sent to meet with Corps Command, which they will be sending him to Thet. And once he gets to Thet, he is to infiltrate into Corps Command and find the location of the champion. Your mission is to assist get Marmaduke 9 back to Squad 119 and to partner up with Counter Command to recover the champion. Everything should be in motion. Good luck. He looks over towards you. Well,
I'm sorry. Dr. Cal is dead?
the archivist doesn't lie. He just reports the facts.
How?
I'm not sure. I'm sure we're going to find out. But you heard him, right?
Yes.
And Alvaro looks over like, wait, so Dr. Cal is dead. That means that... Wait, what does that mean? Well, I feel like Dr. Cal was an asset. Asset to Core Command in some regards. But
He must have found something.
found something, did something, fought something, whatever it was. The only person that really knows what happened would be this Caliber, the bodyguard. And he is to be infiltrating into Core Command on Thet, which honestly does make sense, as he is Redicon and the Thet platoon on Thet is all Redicon, which is going to be difficult, because if they're holding the champion there, then that means that we're going to need to work with Counter Command on this.
Yes.
But also,
How long until we look on?
Also, if we are to go and work with Counter Command on this, we are going to need to... We might need to contact some of the Cantor from the Nest. Not too sure of who to contact though, so I'll see what I could find. But you were saying, Marmaduke?
How long would it be before we reach that?
We have currently from our location, it'll be about maybe 2 marks or so.
How long do I think that is in time?
20. That'll be 48 hours.
Okay. All right, good. Well, Alvora.
Yes.
I think I need to lie down for a moment.
Yes. I'm sure you do.
And not alone.
She smiles, and then Kyva's just like, alright, you two can have some privacy.
I wasn't asking your permission, Mr. Kyva.
He's just like, just please, whatever you do, don't be too loud.
That's not up to me. Well, it is up to me. That's enough. That's enough of that. Let's just go.
Yes. You guys go the door closes up, and you guys go over to a private room. As you guys get inside, Alvora kind of stops, and she's like, "Now that you know, I don't know whether or not I feel more uncomfortable, or if I should even do this. I was holding it back from you for so long that I don't know what to do anymore."
I sort of know. I know that I forgive you.
She goes up and hugs you. And as you two go onto the lounge chair that is inside here, we fade to black.
We cut to we pan to the screen where a fireplace is. There's the image of a fireplace.
Yes. As this is happening, though, I would like you to roll me a discipline check.
Oh no. Throw Disciples Will into this. That is a... Where is it? That's a 28.
28 total?
Mm-hmm. Yes, with Disciples Will.
All right. As you sleep, you, Marmaduke, are inside a dark space, completely black. You feel like you're just sleeping at this point. And then, suddenly, three white doors that are just bursting with light appear.
This seems familiar.
It is very familiar.
It's familiar, but I can't place it right now. I'm working all day.
This reminds you of the benefactor.
Oh God, yes, of course.
Three bright white doors that are illuminating this darkened space appear before you. The more you look at them, the one in the center shows it looks like it shows Nightingale 71 holding onto your baby, your child.
Hmm.
The one on the right looks like two individuals, one Yen and one in Prime, and in the center is a Sin frame that reminds you of Sai. And then the one on the left,
So familiar?
The one on the left shows a prime figure standing there with a little cabot on his shoulder, which reminds you of Liam.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Why am I dreaming of you? My life is complicated enough without having a white girlfriend and dreaming of the only female person in the party. And now I've got to dream of you, Liam. Well, at least Buddy's there.
What are you doing? Are you just standing there, or are you going to go through one of these doors?
Does it seem like I can go through all of them, or
It seems,
just one?
I mean, you could probably go through just one of them. You're not sure if you're going to return here or if it's just going to be one path that you could choose.
So I have Nightingale 71 and Patton.
Mm-hmm.
I have Sai, it seems, but also Sifra and Nis.
Yes.
And I have Liam.
Liam and Buddy.
Liam and Buddy. I'm gonna go for Liam and... Oh gosh, this is actually tough because I want to talk to all of them. I've got things to ask all of them. Things to say to all of them.
You are in this space right now. Are you just thinking about which one you're going to do, or do you want to see if there's any...
I'm thinking about...
reaction?
I'm thinking about which one. Yeah, let's see if there's any reaction.
So what are you going to do to provoke a reaction?
I just want to sort of approach each door and just wait on the threshold of each one.
Okay. Which one do you go to first?
Oh, I better go to the wife first, or she'll be...
Oh, sure.
Or she'll be upset.
You go up to the wife first. And as you go up, you hear the voice of Nightingale. You hear her speaking. Patton, you know that it doesn't matter what you do, you are always going to be unique. You are always going to be the one in which all of us will follow. It is a great responsibility, and I know it's going to be difficult. And then it cuts off.
Okay, I'll move over to Sai.
You move over to Sai. And as you move over to Sai, you hear a voice speaking. You are going to have a difficult time. It will be a challenge. But the way that you have been designed is to be a bridge. Is to unite. You'll go through trials in which you are able to unite others. The biggest trial will be the trial to unite both. And then it cuts off there.
Interesting. I'll move over to Liam.
You move over to Liam's. As you go up to Liam's, you suddenly hear Hello, Liam. I want to ask you something. When you find your friends, I want you to bring them here. I want to meet them. And then it cuts off.
I go through that door.
You go through that door?
Yes.
As you go through that door, everything begins to align with coding as you find yourself placed inside a ship. When you look over, you see what looks like a title of the ship, the Solar Orbiter. And you see that you are in the bridge.
Why am I here?
You are in the bridge. And you see the little ball that was originally Buddy before he got the actual frame that Liam made. And you see Liam looking at it, and the viewer shows what looks like a planet of some kind. The planet. I'd like you to roll me another discipline check.
Disciples will. Ooh. Okay. That is 32.
32. You feel something in your heart kind of skip a beat as you... And your heart is rushing at this point. You can feel your own enhancement slots beginning to... It almost feels like they're electrifying within your body, and you can't help but feel like that's home.
As in Bicronians?
As in, that's where you were born.
Oh. That's interesting.
And you see that Buddy is speaking to Liam and says, I want to meet friends. And Liam is just like, meat? You want meat? And it and then it suddenly the ship, it kind of moves forward, and as it moves forward, you see the viewer causes the actual planet to disappear. And then you see Buddy, and it shuts off, and Liam goes to fix Buddy. And then over the course of time, you see Buddy wake up, and then he goes to Liam and is like, hello, Buddy, hello. And then Liam's just like, huh, you seem to have a bit more of a personality here. And it's interesting. You're trying to make sense of what this means.
Shoot, Buddy.
But with that, you suddenly... The door on the left is now gone. You're in the dark space, and you see before you the one in the center and the one on the right.
Oh.
I'd like you to roll me another discipline check.
Ooh. Again with the will. That's 30 flat.
Okay. You suddenly begin to hear over yourself, over everything. You hear Alpora's voice. Marmaduke, wake up. Marmaduke, wake up. But you don't wake up.
Yes.
You don't wake up.
Yes, dear.
But do you?
Oh, don't wake up.
Do you wake up or do you not wake up? It feels like you could stay in here or wake up. What do you do?
Can I mumble 5 more minutes? 5 more minutes, Aurora.
You say 5 more minutes?
Yeah.
You say 5 more minutes, Alvora, and then you hear, all right, and then you hear, it almost sounds like she stands up and gets up from the bed or the couch or the lounge, wherever, and a door closes.
Feels weird going to see my wife after my girlfriend just got out of bed, so I'm going to sigh.
You go over to Sai. As you go over to Sai, the thing completely... and you see Sai... Sifra and Nis inside a chamber where a Kron, he has a bit of a hunched back. He sits there in front of them. And
what do they look like?
The Kron?
No, Sifra and Nis. What do they look like?
Sifra seems to be a yen. She is a typical yen. She's very beautiful. But her back is to you, and she seems to be younger. Well, she looks younger than than usual. And then you also see Nis, who is an Archaean, has a darker skin complexion, kind of like Middle Eastern look. She is very, she's also very beautiful too. And you see them kind of looking at each other. They're somewhat uncomfortable, but also just there to listen to the Quran in front of them. You see all around you is this domed meeting chamber that they're in. And you see the Quran is behind the desk. And the Quran, he has this wavy black hair that's off to the side. And you see his eyes are glowing this silver coloration. And he has these robes on, this black with white coating on the robes. And he looks at them and he begins to explain. The final trial will be to bring your two families together. It may be the hardest, but that is what you're here for, is it not? And you see they both nod. And then you see him, the Quran stops for a second, and then looks up at you, and smiles at you. And then looks back
You can see me.
And then looks back at the two of them. And is like,
Why?
you both. You'll be a bridge. That is what this will do for you. And you see he pushes forward a codex. Oh. It looks like the codex that Sai has. And as it's pushed forward, he smiles and is like, families are difficult. I understand that. But we must always find a way to be there for them. And then suddenly, everything begins to fade back into the darkness. And at the very last second, it's almost as if the Quran looks up at you and smiles again as he disappears.
Why could you see me?
You are now in the dark space again. With the final one. The final door. And
I'll go in.
You, as you're about to go in, you hear, why is he still asleep? I don't know. He won't wake up.
Oh, that's a problem.
What are you gonna do? The final door is there. and you can hear your son's voice. Why does it? Why
I'll meet you.
Why did he have to leave?
You'll find out soon enough. And I'm sure we'll meet soon enough. But I can't be living in the past now. Not while I have to clean up your mess. And I'm gonna wake up.
You wake up, and Alvaro looks over at you. He's like, "Are you okay?" And Kyver's like, "Oh,
Fine.
thanks,
Fine.
son."
I'm fine.
Are you sure?
Am I sure? That was quite a lot.
You have been asleep for well, you asked for 5 minutes, and I gave you. Well, I didn't really give you. I tried to wake you up many of times. You were asleep for about another 12 hours.
Oh, good grief. Something, I think, attempted to, play with me a little. I'm alright. Something just, decided it wanted to, poke.
Poke. Right. Alright, well, we have about a day left. So if you're done sleeping,
I'm more than done sleeping if I've been in for 12 hours.
More like 20 hours. Because
Well, however many hours it was too many.
well, I would like some help inside the cockpit if you wouldn't mind.
Oh, alright, I'll fly for you. That's totally fine. If you don't want to fly, I'll totally fly.
I didn't
I'll
say fly.
I'm gonna go.
I said help in
I'm
the
just gonna
cockpit.
go ahead and fly the ship. Bye bye. Oh, well, too late. I'm going to fly the ship now.
You go over and you go into the cockpit. The door slides open. As he goes inside with you, he's like, "Fine, you can go ahead and fly the ship."
And I start flying his ship.
You start
Let's
flying.
see what this baby can do.
Start flying his ship. As you're going, Kyver sits next to you. And he looks at you and he says, So something was poking around in your head.
Yes, something that seemed to be quite happy having me around in that simulation.
Do you want to talk about it?
I think I do, actually. Not talking about things sort of made me go a little funny.
Okay, well.
And I talk about it.
You talk about it. As you guys are talking and discussing these things, Kyver is listening carefully. And then he looks over at you and says, I'm concerned about Liam, mainly, to be honest. Even though Sai is my apprentice.
Oh. That's what they meant by your apprentice.
Yes, that is what they meant by my apprentice. Remember, I came there specifically to apprentice Sai before the whole
I've been in a
Rento. But it
I've
was
been in
before
a simulation.
It was before the whole Rento situation. Like, I came there.
I was on the Rento run. I was busy preparing for the Rento run.
It was before that. That's okay. Anyways, it was the night before. But I am concerned about this whole situation with Liam. Liam strikes me as the type to not be very observant. Well, he chooses when to be observant or when to be concerned about certain things, I suppose. But if that's the case, then it means that this makes sense as to why Buddy was compromised. Or at least was able to be
because he already was. Because he already was by Liam. Just not on purpose.
Maybe. The thing is that after you were taken, Buddy turned, and we haven't even already told you about this.
No, you haven't.
Buddy seems to want to go by his designation number. Apparently, he goes by 119.
Well, that's the squad name.
Yes, I was curious about that. How did you come up with your squad name?
Buddy decided it.
Buddy decided it.
I think so, yes. We couldn't decide, so Buddy decided, and we were like, oh, that's fine. That works. I wanted us to be called A Rock and the Hard Places.
That would have been funny.
It would have been funny, and it would have lulled the enemy into a false sense of security.
I understand that. But that does concern me, though. Because if Buddy is compromised, I gave Buddy to a few allies of mine. Well, I informed them that there is something wrong with Buddy, that he was compromised, but not to the extent that you just explained to me. So perhaps I should call them.
I think you'd better.
You can stay in here if you'd like. Well, feel free to pilot. You can listen in though. And you see he goes into the systems and begins to call someone. Okay. And as it answers, you see Kyver look over. It's like, hello, Master. And you see what looks like a prime individual who has like a runic strap, and he is adorned with runic garments, rune forger, and he looks at him and is like, Kyver, to what do I owe the pleasure? I'm just checking in on the unit, the 119 unit that I brought to you. Oh yes, I I have them checking on him right now. He's being worked on. We actually were able to turn him off, so that's good. But we do believe that his coding has been compromised. We are going to be working on him for a little bit of time. Do you need him soon? Kyver looks over towards you, Marmaduke, and is like, I think that the squadron would probably be happy to have him back. And his master looks over and is like, yeah, of course. We could probably have him finished probably within maybe within the next 10 hours or so. That would be good. We have about maybe 21 more hours until we arrive at Thet. So if you could bring him to my pod when you're finished, that would be very... It would help, I think. And you see his master's like, he nods, and then he says, good. And how was recovering Marmaduke? Well, Marmaduke here is piloting the ship. We had a little bit of an issue with the Corps Command officers. And he says, oh? Yeah, just... And he looks over, Kyver looks over, he's like, do you want to talk to him?
Can I mute for a second? Can I mute him?
Yeah, you
or
can.
Or like deafen the other side.
Yeah.
So they can't hear.
Yeah. You go and press a button to mute. It's like, what are you doing? You're muting my master right now.
Be careful what you say to people. Oh no, yes, be careful what you say though.
What do you mean? He's my master.
Anyone could have been compromised.
Not my master, trust me.
Alright.
And he unmutes. Sorry about that, master. Marmaduke is concerned about, well, the compromised nature of this whole situation that we're in. And you hear the master say, can I speak to Marmaduke? Sure. And you see Kyver goes and turns the knob, and as he turns the knob, you see the holographic image kind of begins to move over to you. It's like, pleasure to meet you, Marmaduke 9. I've heard a lot about you from a few different individuals. I am Master Thadian Sor.
The pleasure is mine. You had me to disadvantage, Master.
Disadvantage?
That you knew who I was.
It is fine. I've heard about you from a few different individuals. How is everything? I know you just went through a lot.
It's it's getting there. Coming to terms with some things.
I see. Well, I'm glad you're safe. And hopefully, whatever you went through, something good can come out of it.
I think something good will come out of it.
Good. Well, in that case, Kyver? Yes, master. Once you are done with whatever you need to do, the mission that you were given, see if you can't bring Squad 119 here. And Kyver's like, like, right away? Yes. We're gonna probably need them. Because we can't find another squadron to do what we've been trying to do for the past few months. Alright, well, I'll see what I can do. I'll make sure that they are well protected. Make sure of that. Alright. It was a pleasure meeting you, Marmaduke 9.
And you, Master.
The call ends. Well, you have officially met my master. And one of the prominent master forgers of the Runeforger Order.
Well, I imagine he'll be he seems a rather impressive man.
You'd be surprised. he smiles at you, and then you guys continue to fly. After about 8 hours or so, Kyver stands up and is like, all right, I think my master is here. And he goes towards the door. The door slides open. Alvora's sitting out there. And Kyver goes off to the back and then goes through another door. The door slides open and slides closed. Alvora comes up to you. How's flying?
Oh, I've missed it. I've missed it plenty.
Is Kyver good company?
You know, he is quite.
Well, I think that once we get to that to meet with 119, then squad 119, everything should be better. But I'm gonna be staying with you guys, all right?
I'm glad.
She smiles.
I'll try not to flirt with you so much while he's right here.
Well, don't stop on just because they're around.
Oh. While they're around, I'll do it more.
Suddenly, the door slides open from behind you guys. And you hear, hello. And Kyver's like,
hello there.
Kyver holds up a cabbit. And it's like, you are Marmaduke 9, right?
And I gather that you are 119.
119 or Buddy. You can call me both.
Oh. Oh, Buddy, hello. I will call you Buddy. The last time I saw you, we were in a race.
I
How are you?
don't recall all of my previous interactions. I was wiped.
That's unfortunate.
It's okay. I can form relationships, though. And Kyver looks over.
Well, that's good.
Buddy here is better now, I think.
Yes, I am better, Kyver. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
And you see Buddy kind of hop over onto your lap. It's like,
So, Marmaduke 9, you are taking me to my buddy.
Yes, I am. He's going to be very pleased to see you.
I will be very pleased to see him, too.
And two of you have been through a lot.
Yes.
I'll scratch him behind his ears.
and he kind of like wiggles a little bit.
That feels funny.
Alvor looks down and is like,
You seem different, buddy. I am different. My coding was rewritten. But many of the same mannerisms are still there. I just need to relearn them.
Are you still wanting to stay in the pilot's chair, Marmaduke?
Yes.
All right.
My buddy on my lap and my girl at my side. Flying a ship, this is heaven.
All right. Well, here's the situation. Once we get to Thet, we're going into Core Command territory. All right.
Yes.
But
Do I need a disguise or something?
no, not necessarily. But we need to find Squad 119, which I believe they're already on their mission. And if they're already on the mission, then that also means that we're going to need to go into Counter Command ourselves. When we get there, we need to... Well, I'll need to turn on my stealth field and make sure that it is hiding from Core Command specifically in the Thet platoon. And then we need to go directly to Counter Command and meet with them. I am not sure exactly what Squad 119 is doing, but if they're there, then they might be infiltrating already.
Alright, they're infiltrating Counter Command.
Yes, Counter Command.
Doing the bidding of the,
The thing is that we cannot trust Counter Command either. Alright? For all we know, the plan is on both sides.
Right, that's true. It does seem to be quite a well thought out plan. With a lot of complications.
Alright. Buddy,
Yes, Kyver.
were you equipped with any new things? Did they give you anything?
I have a sensor. I can detect where certain individuals are at if I have a lock on them. I have already locked on to you, Kyver, as well as Marmaduke 9 here. And now,
And you see his eyes kind of flash.
Alvora, I know where you guys will be at within about 5,000 kilometers of my position.
Is there
Very
any
helpful.
is there any way to increase that range?
Increasing that range would mean that I would have to disable other systems in my repertoire.
Alright, we don't want to disable any other systems if that is the case, but that is helpful. And Kyver looks over, is like, in that case, I'll let you to be here. I'll be in the back meditating and rune forging. Call me if you need me.
Will do.
Kyver leaves, and you guys stay up ahead at the cockpit, continuing to fly. Any more roleplay you'd like to do?
I think for a moment I'd just be very contented. The helm of a ship, body on my lap, girl at my side. And friends ahead.
As you continue to fly, you suddenly see on your systems it seems like the systems are detecting something.
Hello. What do we have here?
Are you gonna call Kyver, or are you gonna check on them yourself?
Why not do both? I'll check on them and call Kyver.
Okay. You go and turn on the intercom, and then you call Kyver over. And then I'd like you to roll me a computers check.
Alright. Computers. And that is off intellect, I believe?
Yes.
Right. I feel like I upped this. But let's find out if I did. I did. Okay, so that is 22?
22. As you check on this, it shows a radar sensor, and as you're looking through this radar sensor, you notice that there is a vessel approaching. And Kyver comes up. What's going on?
We've got company.
He checks on it. He's like,
What course is this ship on?
It is actually on a dang it, what's it called? When you're going straight and then it's gonna like hit you if you continue moving forward.
It's an intercept course.
Yeah, intercept. Yeah.
Good grief.
And he's like, "All right, slow down." And
all right, slowing.
He goes over and he turns on some systems, and as he does so, you see that the stealth capabilities get turned on. And as you guys slow down, you see a ship fly by. You don't hear anything. I just like making the noise.
Yes. What configuration is this ship? Do I recognize it?
You do not. You do not recognize it. And Kyver looks at it, is like, what kind of ship is that? And as it flies by, you see it flying in the direction towards that.
Whoever they are, they're just as interested in that planet as we are. Or they think we maybe warped on ahead and they're tracking us. But I don't know what ship that is either. And if I don't know what it is, then it's very mysterious indeed.
Kyver looks curiously. Buddy, do you have any information on it?
Scanning. Affirmative. That ship is called the Black Dust. It is a hunter's vessel.
A hunter's
Bounty
vessel?
hunter?
Affirmative. It is owned by the renowned bounty hunter known as Hunter Black.
Oh.
Hunter Black. Alright. Well, if that's the case, then we're going to need to be very careful.
Is there a way to find out what contract he's picked up?
I can check the database if possible, but I need to have a mission codex available. Does anybody have a mission codex on hand?
And Kyver looks over towards you, Marmaduke. He's like, we were able to gather your equipment. Did you have a mission? Didn't you have a mission codex before this?
I think I did. Yes. Not the one that we got from the station. Different one.
No.
I don't want to plug that into anyone. But mine, yes.
You pull it out, and Buddy checks on it.
Checking. Found Hunter Black's mission for Corps Command. Classified.
The Corps Command.
And you see Kyver look down and is like, classified? How classified?
It is given by the command officials.
Dang it. That is the higher-ups.
This goes quite high.
All I know about Hunter Black is that he is, he apparently is very, very well known as being the most efficient hunter throughout Shikari rule. If he picks up a mission, no one else is going to go on that mission because they're too afraid of him.
When you say efficient,
He hasn't failed a mission.
oh,
And if he's on a... Is his ship on a direct course for Thet, buddy?
Affirmative. When I got the scan, it seemed that his vessel is on a direct course for the Thet system.
So he's gonna be probably getting there around the same time that we are.
If he was intercepting us, he could be after us, or he could be after someone on the squad.
Or he could be after something else. Someone else.
Hmm.
Do you remember when the archivist called and I let you listen in on his message to me? He said something about a champion as being held.
Yes, he did.
It's possible that Counter Command might have hired him, or it's possible that Core Command might have hired him. If Counter Command hired him, then there's a potential chance we'll be assisted by him. But if Core Command hired him, we might face him.
Right.
We need to get to that quickly. All right. Let me take the helm.
Oh, if you insist.
And as you see, he gets into the chair. He's like, all right, strap in. I didn't want to do this because, well, it uses up some of my energy. But the quicker we get there, the better. And you see, as Kyver sits down, he puts his hands into these little slots. And then you see him close his eyes. And begin to funnel energy into this system. And as it does so, the ship electrifies and then bolts through space. And as it moves forward, you feel you can feel the gravity being pushed against you. I'd like you to roll me an endurance check.
Oh. Ooh. Gosh. That almost made my thing fall off the table. Where is my endurance? Up here. I remember putting points into it. Oh, 19. Doing. It's almost as if they know I'm going to see them.
You feel the rush of this, whatever this is. You're not sure exactly what's happening. But as it moves forward, you feel it stop, and Kyver reels back, and he just like, ugh. Alright, that took a bit too much energy out of me. I think I need to go rest. Mama, take the helm. And you see he goes and collapses down. Alvora catches him. And then she's like, he seems like he's really out of it. And Buddy says, yes,
I think get him to a bunk.
He is very depleted. This is not good.
And Alvora goes and takes him to have him rest. And you see that your the navigation chart actually shows that you are probably within like an hour of that system.
All right. Let's full burn. Let's get there.
All right. The ship begins to head in that direction. Eventually, as Kyver is resting and Alvor is back there checking on him, you get to the Thet system, and you recall that Kyver said that you need to turn on the stealth capabilities. So, as you go to do so, I'd like you to roll me a computers check again.
It's the same as before. 22.
22, you're able to kind of remember exactly how he turned on the stealth capabilities, and the ship goes into stealth mode, and you begin to fly towards the navigation where Kyver had inputted. As you fly in that direction, you notice what looks like a cliffside that goes into a what looks like a canyon, and as you're flying over it, you suddenly get a ping, and then it sounds like someone's hailing you.
Oh, okay. Buddy, can you tell who's hailing me?
It is coming directly from the fortress beneath you. I believe that is Counter Command.
Alright. Let's accept that hail.
And you accept it. Attention, we have detected this stealth pod. State your intentions. Are you friend or foe? We will shoot you out of the sky if necessary.
Well, that's no way to treat a friend, is it?
State your intentions.
Oh, I had a frog in my throat, sorry. Our intentions are to land on the planet and discuss some things with you.
Take down your stealth field. Now. Or we will fire.
I will take down the stealth field.
You turn them off. And as they look up, they look up at the ship. Plasmatic Knight?
Which is why firing on us would be a very bad idea.
You have permission to land in our hangar.
Thank you. I look forward to meeting you.
And you go to land inside the hangar. Alvora comes up. It's like, we're able to go in?
Apparently so.
Alright, well, Kyver is still resting. And as you go and land, you see many Counter Command officers are out there. There's a full battalion that is waiting. And you see there are many who are coming up and waiting for you to exit the ship. They're all armed. And as that happens, we are going to end this series there.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Because next time, you'll be in the new age.
Indeed.
Finally back after months.
Indeed. Back once again.
Wow. That was fun. You learned a lot of new things now. We'll see how that goes. But thank you all for listening. I'm sorry that this final entry was not on Zoom either, because I did not have the laptop for the lighting in here. You would have literally seen like nothing from me. And so, yeah, we did audio again. But hey, it was fun. It was fun no matter what. And I enjoyed it very much. I hope you enjoyed it too, Matt.
Yes, very much.
All right. Well, thank you all for...
Apologies for the combat at the beginning.
Yeah, we were so excited for the combat. I even prepped all this combat music.
How long would this have been with the combat?
I mean, I probably would have ended it at a different point in time. But yeah, that was like almost 2 hours now. So that was pretty good. We did a lot more roleplay in that one.
Yes. Oh yeah.
But yeah, thank you all for listening to Entry 9, the finale of the Fragments Reborn series. And if death comes to you, may you be reborn in power. And credits. I thank you for listening to the Fragments Reborn series with Marmaduke 9. Several revelations were revealed inside the series, and now he will be brought back over to the New Age campaign. Stay tuned though, as more series are released and we reach the bulk of this epic story. Until next time, travelers, be safe, stay safe, and if death comes to you, may you be reborn in power.